to my ears. No, this is it. 5 minutes of this and we're out. Norwegian band is right? Oh, in Norwegian. In the language. Yeah. So there have been Norwegian bands before, but not singing. Oh, I see. Good to know.
Everything that man said.
Congratulations.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year's hosts and artists, members of the press, it's a great honor to welcome you all to this press conference for the Nobel Peace Prize concert. We are all looking forward to the concert this evening, right across the street in Oslo Spektrum at 8 o'clock. Let us introduce from the left Mr. Geir Lundestad, who's not performing, but usually among the happiest dancers at the concert. He's the secretary of the Nobel Committee and the director for the Nobel Institute. Carpe Diem, Norway's hip-hop pride, award-winning duo, who has gained enormous popularity in Norway, and but most importantly, extremely nice guys. Welcome, Gerard and Magdi. Milo, Belgian singer and songwriter, and with top hits all over Europe. He has he's one of the most exciting European young talents, they say, and I believe them. And I like that he's his own boss. He has records on his own label. I like that. Welcome.
Thank you.
Orchestrade from Portugal, represented by Marta Miranda, with their own special cosmopolitan style, or they call it Tasca beat. They have impressed critics and fans all over Europe. Seal, a well-known award-winning British artist with over 20 million records sold worldwide, whose music and numerous international hits has been played a big part of people's lives in Norway and my life.
I'll deny it in court, it's all lies.
Sarah Jessica Parker, host of this year's concert, a well-known American actress and producer, Golden Globe for Best Actress in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2004. What happened in 2003?
I don't know. I wish you hadn't brought that up in the content.
Parker is also engaged as a UNICEF ambassador and is on the President's Committee on the Arts and Humanities. Welcome to this winter called Norway.
Thank you for having me.
Gerard Butler, welcome. This year's host, alongside Parker, Scottish lawyer, but perhaps slightly more famous as an actor. Appeared in almost 50 movies and TV series. He's also a board member of Artists for Peace and Justice. Welcome.
Thank you.
Jennifer Hudson from the United States, Grammy-winning artist, actress and author with a remarkable voice and a stage appearance, which also made you an Oscar winner for your role in Dreamgirls. Welcome. Neo, also Grammy-winning artist, singer, composer, producer, and dancer.
I cook too.
Sorry?
I cook.
And cook.
I don't cook. That was a lie.
You don't cook?
I'm sorry, I don't cook.
Okay. You dance.
I do that.
He has achieved great popularity and respect for his skills and music, both as a solo artist and in collaboration with such artists as Jennifer and Rihanna and Beyoncé, and of course Norwegian producer duo Stargate. Welcome. Lale.
Hi.
Welcome, actress, singer, and multi-instrumentalist who's really touched and moved her home country Sweden and her neighbor country Norway with her fantastic voice and artistic music. A warm welcome.
Thank you.
Il Volo, three impressing young tenors who took Italy by a pleasant surprise when they appeared on a talent show and did a version of O Sole Mio. And then they had a world record contract, and the adventure has begun. We're really looking forward to hearing you guys, Piero, Ignazio, and Gianluca this evening. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And fanfare Ciu Carlia from Romania, represented by Kostica Trifa.
Hello.
Sorry?
Hello.
Hello.
You said hello and I didn't hear you. Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Hello to you. You have a great gypsy heritage and the music, responsible for gypsy music all over Europe with this heritage. And you are also loved by punks, headbangers, and jazz artists all over the world. Maybe because you play so fast. I don't know. Looking forward to tonight. Welcome all. Kylie Minogue and Susanne Sundfør couldn't make it to the press conference, but you will of course see them on stage tonight. So, that's all. So, the questions. Geir Lundus, I always start with you, and I will ask you, first of all, and from your point of view, what is the sole purpose of this Peace Prize concert that we have every year?
Well, the Norwegian Nobel Committee offers only one concert per year, this one. And the importance of the concert is to celebrate peace, and particularly to celebrate the laureate of the year. And this year's laureate is the European Union. And we think the European Union has a very important story to tell about how Europe was transformed from a continent of war. 80 million died during World War I and World War II, was transformed from a continent of war to a continent of peace. And nobody contributed more to this than the European Union. Many television programs are made during the Nobel Days in Oslo and Stockholm, but none of these programs reach as far out as the Nobel Peace Prize concert. We have been able to show this concert in up to 100 countries. And there are two reasons I want to point to for the success of this concert. One, we see on stage.
Yeah.
You people. Thank you for being here. There would not have been a successful Nobel Peace Prize concert without the wonderful talent we see here on stage. And two, we also need financial support for such a large undertaking. We have several sponsors to this concert, but we also have the support of a philanthropic fund, the global benefactor of this concert, the Pearson brothers. And Tim and Tom, they are here in the audience, so would you please stand so we can recognize you? These are the Pearson brothers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lundestad, who is also a professor in history, we heard. He is.
You want a lesson? Or?
No, I'm fine, thanks. Sarah Jessica Parker, what were your thoughts when you were asked to host the Nobel Peace Prize concert?
I wondered who had passed, because I felt very fortunate and privileged to be asked, and I couldn't imagine why, and hope very much that I don't bring the institution to a screeching halt. But I was thrilled. I grew up in a house that we talked a lot about the Peace Prize, as well as the Prize for Physics and all the others that are awarded. It was actually a big part of my growing up life to be aware and cognizant of this event, and it's a thrill. It's a privilege. We just had an amazing morning with Jose Barroso, and had about just slightly less than an hour to talk to him about his thoughts, and to be at the Institute and look at these diplomas and look at this wall of recipients and laureates. It's really once in a lifetime experience, and I feel enormously privileged to be here, and very grateful for the hospitality and the invitation.
Welcome. Gerard Butler, as a European, how is it to host this year's concert with EU as a laureate?
Well, it fills me with a great sense of pride.
strangely enough, you said I was a lawyer. I don't bring that up so much, but my honors, my honors was in European Community Law. And I finished studying that in 1992, and in 1993 the Maastricht Treaty was signed, and the European Economic Community became the European Union. But even from that point, we went into it in a lot of detail: free movement of goods, of people, the opening of borders. But you did it from a very technical standpoint, and even I was taken aback when thinking about the European Union and realizing, as he so beautifully put it, the fact that if nothing else, it took this continent from a place of war to a place of peace. It was a continent that couldn't stop warring with itself, not just in those 2 world wars, but as Peter, a friend of mine, and the writer of this evening, had pointed out, watching Gladiator, the very opening, you still, even there, you have the Huns fighting the Italians, the Romans. It never stopped. And we came to live like that, and I think nowadays we take it for granted in a way that we live in peaceful times. And I think this is what is beautiful about this award, is to remind us that we can't ever take peace for granted, and that in actual fact there has been such a huge amount of work by so many people and taking us to a place where these member states are so interwoven socially, economically, in every way, that war is almost impossible. So we can bitch about many different things, and there is plenty to bitch about. We're not getting away from that. But this is 60 years of peace, and that is something pretty incredible.
Okay. Thank you very much. And now we open for questions. Yeah. We have the Renaissance Foundation from London. Yes.
Hi, I'm from Renaissance Foundation in London. We're a UK youth programme, and we come out here for a programme called Keep It Real Peace, trying to make peace real for young people. And what I'd like to ask is Neo, Jennifer, Gerard and Sarah, please, about how do you feel that we can make peace real and relevant for young people in their everyday lives as well? Because you guys are inspirational for young people, and just how do you think we could make that relevant for young people?
Great questions to several of the artists.
Ladies first.
Neo. Neo, you start.
Okay. Well, I mean, I try not to speak on anyone else's behalf. I try to speak, solely for myself. But I try to lead by example. As an artist, you have a bigger microphone than say the average person, and whether you want to be a role model or not, people are watching. People are paying attention to what you do, and paying attention to what you say, paying attention to the what it is that you put out there for the world to see. So, one of the best quotes that I've ever heard is be the change you want to see. So with that being said, I make sure that when you're looking at me, you're going to see something positive. You're going to see something peaceful. You're going to see I'm going to be that change. So that's how I do it.
Jennifer.
I can't say it better than that, but I always say if you're going to be a role model, be a positive role model. And like you just said, set that example, I mean, we're getting a little older, so we are the ones that the kids are looking up to these days. So set a good example. And I feel as though we're not here just to be famous or just to, be in the limelight. If you're not making a difference, then what's the point? It only matters when you take the time to help somebody else, to change the world and make it a better place. So that's why it is an honor, I think, for all of us to be here today.
Okay. I think we have to have another question. Yes. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Jon Kim Liu, and I come from the youth paper in Norway. My question goes to your hosts. Were you interested in politics when you were young?
I grew up in a home that was in many ways centered around politics on a local, city, state, and obviously every 4 years a federal level. It was really, in many ways, created a worldview that I'm really grateful for. My parents were very involved politically. My first campaign was for McGovern in 1972, and I'm not shy about being a proud Democrat. I worked hard in this last campaign for what I thought was maybe the most important election of our lifetime in America. and I want my children to be as engaged and as involved, arrive at their own decisions. I secretly hope they line up with mine, but it's the beauty of a democracy is that we all get to share our differences and have civilized conversations, dialogue, not diatribe. So yes, I always want to care and be involved as much as is helpful and not harmful.
Well, for me, no, definitely not as much as Sarah Jessica. I did grow up in Scotland, which was a very hard Labour country run in a very conservative UK. So my earliest memories are of the Thatcher era and miners' strikes and such a terrible split in a country where we were being run, but felt like by somebody else. Now, however, living in America, I'm kind of stuck in between. I just went through the whole election campaign as well, but I can't vote. So I'm neither in Britain, kind of involved in their political process, or in America, particularly involved in theirs. So I was involved in politics when I was younger more, but now not so much.
We'll take you even if you can't vote.
I tried.
We can put you to work.
More questions for, in the back there.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm from the Norwegian Broadcasting Company, and I have a question for Mr. Gerard Butler. With the growing economic crisis in Europe, we've seen the growth in nationalism and racism all over Europe. Could you share some thoughts on how to work against that?
A big question there.
I tell you, one of the best ways in working against that is in what happened yesterday, and that's why, for all the criticism that I think has been waged against the Nobel Institute for doing this, because it's definitely not been something that everybody agreed with. But I have to say, to me, it feels like the perfect time to be awarding the European Union this prize, because we have to be reminded that we can't take peace we can't take peace for granted in any way because of what is going on right now, and that we have to keep working away at more integration, the whole process that's going on right now, because it is a scary time. There is a crisis, and whenever there is a crisis, we see this rise in Britain, in Germany, in France, of xenophobia, of protectionism. And I think, if nothing else, if this just revitalizes the process and puts some more confidence back into the Union, then that can't be a bad thing. And that's why I think that this award at this particular time was a very brave thing to do from the Nobel Institute.
Okay. Questions? Yes, the woman in there. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Sofia, and I'm from the newspaper VG. And I'm just wondering, yesterday you didn't go to the banquet, and what did you do instead?
We were rehearsing.
I had a shower.
Oh, I didn't.
A hot tub. I
were
dressed up in
rehearsing till
women's
about
clothes and
10:30.
danced around.
I guess 10:30.
No, we yes. No, we had a rehearsal, so we weren't able to.
Here in Oslo, been.
Well, mine's been brief thus far. It's a much shorter trip than I would like, but I am completely enchanted by this city. It's really. I was driving up the street today. What did you say? Why or how?
It's cold.
It's cold, but I like
Norwegian fans.
It's a dry, much less wet cold than New York. But also, we were driving up this boulevard, and I was looking around, and I said, "Oh my God, it's like everything I pictured. You know, it's like an Ibsen play." And then Magnus, this gentleman who's been with us, he said, "That's Ibsen's apartment right there," and we're on Ibsen. I was like,
"Oh wow!
How more perfectly illustrated could my thoughts have coincided with where I was?" It's really, I think it's such a beautiful city. It's so different than where I live, so different than other places I've seen. And I love that there's so little English on any signs. it's really a place that's far away from home, and I love it, and I wish I had more time. And I had really great kebab yesterday, unbelievable kebab, and great gravlax, and excellent company.
This is kebab. I love that in Norway.
Kebab.
This is my third time here, and I love this city. And I was at the ceremony yesterday, and I have to say though, when we walked out and we came out on the fjord and the wind hit, I haven't experienced cold like that in a long time. But I'm from Scotland, so I kind of dig it as well, you know. And I think the Scots and the Scandinavians, we have a very close relationship. In fact, I keep looking at people here and go, God, you look so Celtic. You know, they act the same, they look the same. So I definitely feel like I fit right in. But I got to tell you, doing this much, it's a beautiful experience. But it's kind of, I don't know about you, but it's kind of nerve-wracking as well. When you go from, you know, we just had to sit and interview the president of the European Commission. And you're just sitting going, so...
Maybe that's why I didn't
President
sleep
Barroso.
so well.
I said, Jose Manuel Durao Barroso. You have a nickname? So I thought, I need to keep this light, you know this? But you're running from that to press conferences to rehearsals, so it's not like I'm amazed you even got out to have a kebab last night, because there hasn't really been a lot of time.
That wasn't when I was meant to be at the banquet. I just want that on the record. That was an established 2-hour break prior to the banquet before the next rehearsal began. I just want you to make sure you didn't think I'm just running around cavalier. Thumbing my nose at schedules and banquets.
Thank you. I have a quick question for Seal. Why is it meaningful for you to participate on this concert?
Well, by very virtue of what it stands for, peace. As Neil was saying earlier on, I think as musicians, in our case, as people in the public eye, we have a huge responsibility to uphold and lead by example. I try to, you know, as a father of 4, I try to lead my life in a very responsible, peaceful way. So to be asked to perform at such a pardon the pun, Nobel ceremony is a highlight of my life, not just my career.
Your kids are proud.
I beg your pardon?
Your kids are proud.
My kids are proud. Well, they don't know yet. But hopefully one day they will be when they see it, provided I don't screw it up.
A quick question for Milo from Facebook. Fans asked, how did you come to the song you're going to play tonight? What's the process?
The song choice?
Yeah.
Well, in my case, I've only written 2 songs so far, so I just picked those 2. No, I say this because probably a lot of you have never heard of me before, so I've actually written at least 4 songs. Okay, to be serious, I just try to pick 2 positive songs, and one of the 2 songs I'll perform is a song called You and Me, and that was sort of a song that I originally wrote, intended to be a love song, but while avoiding most of the cliches in so many songs these days. And but tonight that song gets a new dimension, and I will never forget. So it's in a way it's a song about sticking together. And I just want to say something about what was mentioned before about the criticism some people have, because I think that's an absolute shame. I actually realized that the European Union deserved this prize more than ever 10 years ago when I was a student. Political sciences, international relations. I was a musician, but I needed something to tell my parents I was doing during the day. So I was studying, and actually I studied the history, so I didn't learn something new yesterday, but I was truly moved, and I think it was about time European Union won this prize, because I knew all the great results. But the reason that it's so difficult to sell this, to sell the European Union to a lot of people of my generation, and I've done a lot of thinking about this last few years, is because my generation has a distinct problem with the concept of compromise. It's just lost a lot of, while this was for so many decades something that a lot of people thought was a great thing, my generation for the first time, and a lot of people younger, they think that's a bad thing, it's a bad word, like compromise, it's not good. And yeah, I mean, it's difficult, and it's easy for populist parties to, take advantage of that and sort of say like, yeah, it's all their fault and this and that. But the truth is that events like yesterday, where we're all zooming out, and this was great because I see a bunch of politicians sitting together who actually, a lot of them mostly care about the next elections and the local parameters that they have for their careers. But the great thing by zooming out all together, it sort of brings back this, there's a lot of great things about a long series of compromises, and yeah, I'm really proud to be here. That's what I want to say.
I asked about the song choice, and you gave a political.
I chose.
I love it.
Yeah, but and you know what I don't like these days? So many musicians, like you're always like told up, to shut up and sing. Just like sing these songs, and even if you write songs that have messages, a lot of people don't even want to talk to that. You go to morning radio shows, you have this a few quick jokes, and. I think that's a shame, because a lot of musicians these days, I keep reading like, why are our current musicians not writing about the crisis, about politics? The truth is they are, but people don't care that much to give that, if you're in a TV show or a radio show, they just want to talk about something really superficial. And so this is a great opportunity to show that, positive message in a lot of our music. So to answer your question, sir, I picked two of my most positive songs to play tonight.
Thank you very much. Right. We have several questions. We have from TV2.
Thank you. Norwegian TV2. I would like to ask Sarah Jessica Parker. When you tell your friends that you are going to host you're going to Oslo to host the Nobel Peace Prize concert, how much do you have to explain before they know what you're actually doing, where you're actually going, and why the EU won the prize this year?
I'm happy to inform you that all of the 3 or 4 people that I told, I'm not one of those people who's particularly boastful about what I'm doing, but because it was announced, it was disseminated, and I couldn't do anything about that. But there wasn't anybody I came across in my life who didn't know what this event was, wasn't very familiar with the Peace Prize, with the Prize for Literature. We are, I think, pretty informed despite what our reputation might be. I know we're a young country, but we care a lot about the world and are interested and curious about what happens elsewhere. And in terms of the EU, I think, I think people that I spoke to more here have felt more informed, I think, because of the connection they have to Europe. They feel, I think, more equipped or more confident in having an opinion about it. I think the couple of Americans that I spoke to didn't, they took it at face value. They took it in the spirit in which it was given by the Institute, and supported the choice that these learned people arrived at. And so it hasn't been as controversial among the people that I've spoken to as I've found here. There is interesting and differing opinions about it. But once again, isn't it great to live in a time and a place where we can have opinions and hopefully be informed enough to support opinion? I would prefer to sit in a room with someone who I disagree with, but who has spent time really learning about something and really being informed and educating themselves and being curious about another way of thinking. Agreeing isn't as important as being educated and being informed.
Okay, thank you. We have lots of questions and we have so little time, but we have one there.
Yes, my name is Paul Nordseth. I'm from the Norwegian newspaper Dagbladet, and I have a question for Sarah Jessica Parker. You and your husband had children via surrogate, something that is still not possible in Norway.
I'm trying to think what this has to do with peace.
Okay.
I just wanted to know if you noticed a news story last week when it was revealed that the Norwegian crown princess Mette-Marit
Well, we're off topic now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We have so little time. We have so many artists. So I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry. Is it a question for some of the other artists, maybe?
Definitely on topic, and it's to Carpe Diem, the two guys from
Carpe Diem. Yes.
Everybody here is talking about being good examples, and in one of your songs you're singing about how you put on fire youngster politicians from the Progress Party. Is that... do you feel that it's appropriate for you to be in the Nobel Peace Prize concert, and do you regret writing that song?
Which song is this?
Okay.
Okay, what?
Well, there's a confusion here. They write a song and you ask if they are...
Well, it's an old song that you performed, which made a...
And if they regret the song.
Yeah.
Do you regret any songs you made?
I mean, we've been touring and playing in a band since we were 15 years old, and it's been we've been putting out all of our feelings, and I think all in all, we've written songs that can be meaningful and appropriate for a Nobel Peace Prize concert. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here. So I really think that we're positive. We have a positive message to convey.
And Magdi, how is it to be here and playing in the Peace Prize concert?
It's an honor, of course. It's the first time anybody performs in Norwegian at a Nobel Peace Prize concert, and that's pretty big to us. Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's going to be subtitles?
I hope so. Most of you won't understand the lyrics, but we can assure you they're fantastic, absolutely amazing lyrics.
Okay. I have a quick question for Marta Miranda. For you two songs, I tried with Milo, I tried with you two. You have a reason why you're playing your songs.
I have
Marta.
the same opinion, Milo, that like singer or someone come from the music that you cannot speak about other things. Instead, I went to the music to can speak in a sweet way about the things, and surprise people. I come from a country, South Europe, where is now very disemployed. Excuse me, my English, it's very bad, but I will try my best. And everyone is very, very Haifa, how do you say? Very angry, enraged, yes, enraged with Europe. So now Europe is the bad one. So it's not easy for us to be here. When we received the invitation, we stay very glad because we travel in Europe since 3 years, and we understand there is a Europe. But it's not easy to be European. They ask us to be Europeans, to all of us, but nobody teaches us to be Europeans. And this is for me, the big questions, because when I am traveling in Europe and then I return to Portugal, it's a shock. And it's like I'm in a different world. And we must learn more about each other. Our story, the problems we had in the past, like to make therapy with each other. And then perhaps we can earn one Europe more interesting.
Thank you. They say that we have to cut it now, but I have one last question, if it's a question to any artist that hasn't. Yeah, is it?
It's to the local artists, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So my name is Ahmed, and I'm from Renaissance Foundation as well. One of the questions we asked yesterday is that how can you make peace newsworthy to young people? So how do you feel you're going to take this from here, and how are you going to take your involvement in the concert beyond today?
So we are really young, and we are at the beginning of our career, but we are young enough to understand how much love the world needs. And be tonight here, perform for the Nobel Peace, it's an honor, and the song that we are going to perform is called We Are Love. So that's the best way to express our global message.
Yeah, it talks about the love. It's a global message, and in every country, because our songs talks about Je t'aime, mi amor, yo ti amo, we are love. So you can love in every country, in every language, in the world. So
it's a perfect way of ending the press conference. Yeah. It is. So this is what we had time for. Thank you very much for this, and good luck to the hosts and the artists for tonight's concert. Thank you very much.